Welcome back to Hope Frontier, and today we are going to jump into another name of God. And today we're going to take a look at the name El. And this name is used by itself sometimes, but also it can be used as a conjunction. And we can see it used many times throughout the Bible. For example, Bethel, Ishmael, Elijah, Israel. It's everywhere. So it does have a pretty strong base within the Bible. So it's a great thing for us to dive into it and really understand the basis of what this word means. And simply put, this word means God, right? What a surprise. But it is important because there are other names of God that don't exactly mean God. As you saw in our Adonai video, it doesn't mean specifically God, but it's a positional authority. But this word El does specifically mean God. And it is not a specific name for just God himself. That would be like Yahweh. This is a more generic word of just a supernatural God. And that by itself is actually important because we do have to realize that there are different gods that people have worshipped. And maybe you think that, oh, well, those are just imaginary and those don't exist. And to a point, that's true because God is not in a cosmic battle with other gods. That is not how it is. But there are different idols and there are different spiritual beings that try to usurp the power and authority of God. And in that sense, they are basically gods. They are these beings and spirits that people put their heart and devotion towards, which is taking the place of God. So in that sense, there are gods and they are very real. So when the neighbors of Israel were worshiping these other gods, they were worshiping these demons, these demonic powers, these wrong spiritual authority, and they were receiving power from that. Another application of this word El is a strong one, and it was God's job and God's duty to provide for his people. That was how it worked. And so God was strong because they could provide for the people living there. So we're going to take a look at some verses and see how this was used and really understand how we can apply this into our life and our prayer life. So in Genesis 31, this is when God came to Jacob in a dream, and he spoke to him in verse 13, saying, I am the El who appeared to you at Bethel, the place where you anointed the pillar of stone and made your vow to me. So here, God is specifically coming to Jacob and saying, hey, I am the God that you're worshiping. I am that supernatural being that is in control of you and your life. If we take a look in Numbers chapter 12, this is when Moses was with his sister Miriam, and Miriam had actually gotten leprosy because of her rebellion against God. And so it says this in verse 13. Moses cried to the Lord, O El, I beg you, please heal her. And here, Moses recognizes out of desperation that God is the only one that can reverse the disease that she had. He needed a God to act because Miriam had acted in rebellion with her heart. If we take a look at Deuteronomy chapter 3, verse 24, in the second half of verse 24, this is the broader sense where we see that there are different gods throughout the planet that people could worship. It says this in chapter 3, the second part of 24. Is there any El in heaven or on earth who can perform such great and mighty deeds as you? So here, again, the people recognize that our God is not the only one that you could put your faith into, because you could put your faith into anything, really. And if you put your faith into another God, it is not the same thing as putting your faith into the one true God who is powerful. Now, so a quick look at how we can see the use of the mighty one, God is the provider, in the Bible. It says this in Psalm 50, verse 1. The Lord, El, is God, and he has spoken. He has summoned all humanity from where the sun rises to where it sets. And so here we can see the author knows that it is God's power, that through God himself, the world is in creation and motion. And he's attributing that strength and that power to him. And finally, the last example we have today is Genesis chapter 21. And this is when Abraham had made his covenant with the Lord. And it says this in verse 33. Abraham planted a tamarisk tree at Beersheba, and there he worshipped the Lord El. And so once again, Abraham recognizes that his God is everlasting. His God is the mighty one, and he put his faith continuously in this one God. So during your prayers and quiet time, do take that moment to realize that despite the distractions of the other gods in our world, the Lord our God is the one who deserves our attention and praise.